A stray cat brought her kittens to a police station, and what they found shocked everyone. It was a quiet, chilly morning at the Maplewood police station. Officers were beginning their day with steaming cups of coffee, filling out reports and exchanging light-hearted banter. The station buzzed with the usual hum of routine, but no one could have predicted what was about to happen. Officer Daniels was the first to notice her. A small, scruffy, stray cat cautiously approached the station's glass doors, her fur matted and tail low. She carried something in her mouth, a tiny, squealing kitten. Carefully, she placed it down just outside the door and let out a soft, urgent meow. Daniels, curious, set down his coffee and walked over to the doors. "Well, look at that," he murmured. The cat meowed again, staring directly at him with wide, pleading eyes. And then, to everyone's amazement, she turned and darted off into the bushes. A minute later, she returned, this time with another kitten in her mouth. The little one squirmed as she gently set it down beside its sibling. She meowed again, her tone desperate, and looked up at Daniels as if begging for help. By now, a small group of officers had gathered near the doors, watching the scene unfold. "Is she bringing them to us?" one of them asked, incredulous. It wasn't long before the cat returned with a third kitten, then a fourth. Each time, she laid them down gently, her movements growing slower and more fatigued. Daniels opened the door, and the cat hesitated for just a moment before stepping inside. She gave a final, exhausted meow, curled herself protectively around her kittens, and collapsed on the floor. The officers scrambled into action. "Get a blanket! Call the animal shelter! She looks like she hasn't eaten in days!" The room erupted in a flurry of activity as everyone worked together to make the little family comfortable. A blanket was spread out, a bowl of water was placed nearby, and someone brought in a can of tuna from their lunchbox. As the officers examined the kittens, they noticed something strange. One of the kittens had a small, tightly wrapped bundle attached to its tiny leg, with a piece of frayed string. It was a pouch, no bigger than a coin purse. Daniels carefully untied it, his hands trembling slightly. Inside the pouch was a folded piece of paper, stained and worn. He unfolded it gingerly, revealing a hastily scrawled note. The message sent chills down his spine. "Help me. My name is Lily. I am trapped. 425 Elm Street." The room fell silent. The officers exchanged looks of shock and confusion. Who was Lily? Was this a cry for help? And how had a stray cat come to carry this message? Without wasting a second, Daniels grabbed his gear. "We need to check this out," he said firmly. A team of officers piled into their squad cars, leaving the cat and her kittens in the care of the station's receptionist, who had already fallen in love with them. When they arrived at 425 Elm Street, the sight that greeted them was eerie. The house was old and dilapidated, its windows boarded up and the yard overgrown with weeds. It looked abandoned, but the note suggested otherwise. They knocked on the door. No answer. After announcing their presence, they forced the door open and stepped inside. The air was thick and musty, and the house was eerily silent. They searched room by room, their flashlights cutting through the darkness. In the basement they found her. A young woman no older than 25 was chained to a metal pipe. She was pale, frail and trembling, her eyes wide with fear. "Please," she whispered, her voice barely audible. "Don't hurt me. We're here to help," Daniel said softly, kneeling beside her. He called for paramedics while another officer worked to break the chains. As they carried her out of the house, she began to cry, tears of relief, fear, and exhaustion. Back at the station, Lily shared her story. She had been abducted weeks ago and held captive in that basement. Her captor rarely visited, leaving her with barely enough food and water to survive. One day, she noticed a stray cat sneaking into the basement through a broken window. The cat had become her only companion, offering her a sliver of hope in the darkness. Desperate to escape, Lily had written the note and tied it to the cat, praying it would somehow lead to her rescue. She had no idea the cat had recently given birth, or that it would bring her kittens and the note to the police station. The stray cat and her kittens became instant heroes. Lily insisted on adopting them once she recovered, and the officers at Maplewood Station made sure the little family was well taken care of in the meantime. News of the cat's incredible act of bravery spread quickly, capturing hearts across the nation. What began as an ordinary day at a small-town police station turned into a story of survival, hope, and the unbreakable bond between humans and animals. And as for the cat, whom Lily named Hope, she proved that even in the darkest of times, a little kindness and determination can change lives in ways no one could have ever imagined.